So what are some of the, the common misconceptions, working at a big firm? And I mean, we talked about, the ability to have the resource and on the other hand, some of the bureaucracy. What are some of those other common misconceptions that, people tend to get wrong about what it's like in each of these three different paths?
A couple of things come to my misconceptions. One is around ethics. So we read so much about, the news is just loaded with negative stuff. And it's loaded with negative stuff about businesses just like it is about politics or sports and other things. I will tell you that I think there's a very broad misconception about the ethics of business leaders. And I have been fortunate enough to interact with hundreds or thousands of senior executives in business. And I can count on, less than two full hands the number of really unethical people that I've met. The vast majority of these people are hardworking, trying to do the right thing, care about their organizations, care about their people, and are trying to do things the right way. There are obviously some bad apples, but I can assure you it's far less than the common media would lead you to believe. The other thing that sort of relates to Eugene's answer that I think is interesting to point out, it's sort of related to uncertainty. I've been a part of 3 C-suites, so chief executive officer, chief operating officer, chief revenue officer, which is a role I've played a couple of times. You're in there with the CEO and the direct reports. You're one of the direct reports to the CEO. And my last job, we were a $36 billion company. And we sit down every week on Monday. Unfortunately, I'd fly to San Francisco every week for this meeting. And we would sit down and we would talk about strategic issues related to the business and investments that we wanted to make, $100 million, $200 million investments on a regular basis, things like that. And the amount of uncertainty in which we have to make very important, high-impact decisions, I think would surprise everybody in this room. I mean, we come out and we talk to the press and we talk to industry analysts and we talk to our clients and everything about what we're doing, but and we do it confidently. But I will tell you that these decisions are not easy, and if you were a fly on the wall in these rooms, you would see, wow, these people are much more human than I thought. They are not, whiz kids with all the answers. The amount of the variables that you have to try to live with when you make a big decision is very high. So I think you'd be really surprised, like if you sat in an IBM one of these IBM meetings, or like my meetings at Digital Realty, you just see, wow, I thought these people knew more than, and were more confident than they were. But then what that does is that makes it really, really important that you're able to adjust. So there is not a plan or a major decision that you make in the environments that I've been in where you don't have to, where you just go straight ahead. You go straight ahead until you bump into something, and you always bump into something. And then you adjust to the right, you adjust to the left, you bump into something else, and but you make decisions, you move forward, and you adjust. I think that's really, really important to keep in mind. And it also, I think, is a helpful thing to think about that, I don't have to be perfect to advance in my career. I just have to make solid decisions and be willing to adjust as I need to adjust.